to save you guys all the trouble. This is everything that comes with the MST intake, but I'm not going to reinvent the wheel and show you an install video on how to install a charge pipe and an intake. There's so many videos out there on how to install this. But the question is, why did I choose this MST intake over the other ones that are available on the market? Now, truth be told, there is other intakes that I was interested in. One was the Armor Speed intake. I really love the look of the carbon fiber box and a carbon fiber tube. I think that one looks better than this one. But what really sold me on the MST intake was having this clear cover. I don't know if it's a gimmick or not, but I really like having a clear cover over the intake box. Now, if I get tired of this, no big deal. I still have the stock one that I can throw on there. It's only a few screws from what it looks like. Really like the airbox design. Everything looks good here. It looks like it seals off from the engine bay. But one of the reasons why I got this one was just price and the overall satisfaction of people who have the MST intake were pretty much happy with this. Now, there is another intake that's even more expensive. I would love to have that intake, but to be honest with you, I'm not gonna spend over $1,000 on an intake system. Now, that is the Inventory intake. Now, it is debatable on whether or not these intakes make power or not. Some say it does, some say it doesn't, but I haven't seen any hard copy evidence, of an intake making power as far as, us with smaller size turbos or even the stock turbo. Now, my Supra does have the pure 700 turbo, so I'm unsure. Maybe it will make power, maybe it won't. As far as a charge pipe, pretty much the same thing. A lot of people have been happy with the FTP charge pipe, so I went ahead and picked that up. Some people have recommended to upgrade the charge pipe if I'm going to be upping boost, which soon we will be taking the Supra onto the Dyno. No real reason to get that one. It was just something that was recommended, and pretty much everyone seems happy with that charge pipe. Just got it in the black color. They also offer it in red, but I just think black looks a little more cleaner in the engine bay. So now that we got the stock pipes out of the car, I'm curious to see if there's a bunch of oil in there. I don't have a catch can or catch cans yet or an AOS. I'm really contemplating on getting one. Let's turn on this light. And this is the intake. Let me see. Yeah, you can see a little bit in there. There is oil. Yep. So that's the intake. Let's look at the charge pipe. Trying to get some light. Yeah, there's oil in there too. Yeah, just a light film. It really isn't all that much. I mean, there's no oil that's gonna pour out, but just a light film that coats the inside of the intake tube and the charge pipe. Now, on the charge pipe, that's the turbo side. This is the throttle body side, and the throttle body side really, I don't know, that's dry. That looks dry. I don't see anything in there. Yeah, not bad. So here's a little side project that I'm doing. Now, my car is a 2020, and these holes right here are not threaded from the factory like 2021s. Now, the 2021s do have this factory cross brace from the factory. Now, I have a Cusco brace. Now, unfortunately, this hole is not threaded, so that means every time I have to take it on and off, I have to go through the wheel well, and it's kind of hard to get that nut onto that bolt when you slip it right here. So this just makes it so much easier for me to take that Cusco brace on and off. So this is just a tap and die set. I'll put a link down in the description below of the tap and die set I got. It was super duper cheap, not that expensive at all. And I also got some cheap, actually not cheap, these are kind of expensive, but these are actual OEM Toyota bolts. Now, the 2021s actually use those E-Torx bolts, but I just wanted regular bolts so I can just use regular sockets. And this is the part number. It's 90118-WA243. They're like $4 a piece. Kind of expensive, but hey, it's an OEM part, right? All right, there it is. Look at that carbon fiber. Just love the way that looks. It's nice and clean in the engine bay. I don't want to get off subject, but MST intake, FTP charge pipe, which is right there. It's hiding. I don't know if you could see it. Fully installed, super duper easy install. Just love the way that MST intake looks with that clear cover. I've never had an intake with a clear cover, but we'll see how long that lasts. But didn't have any issues with the install whatsoever. Basic hand tool. Still only took about an hour and a half. But we do, like I said earlier in the video, it's questionable if this thing makes any power at all. I haven't seen any dynos proving it does. It's basically just a $500 noisemaker. The charge pipe, just there for extra security because we will be upping the boost. We do have a dyno coming up, and let's talk about that. So before we talk about the dyno and the upcoming tune, let's go over some of the mods just in case if you're new to this channel. We do have a pure 700 turbo, catless downpipe, and a boost logic exhaust. Also, we have the Visconti flex fuel kit. Not sure if we're going to be dynoing on E85 or not, so we'll see about that. And last but not least, the charge pipe and the MST intake. All right, so here's a quick down and dirty on the dyno that we have scheduled in the next couple days. We only have the dyno scheduled for a couple hours, so we're going to be limited on what we can do. So right now the car is on the stock fuel system. Now the reason why this is not going to be the full-blown final tune yet is I do plan on adding port injection. So with the stock fuel system, we're only going to be limited to about E30 or E50. Now you guys know me, I want all the power, which is the reason why I want to go full E85. So with that said, we're going to be dialing in the new base map. Right now this is on a really low powered base map. We're going to dial in the new base map. My estimates will probably make around 450 to 500. This is going to be on pump gas 92 because we don't have 93. 93 is probably going to add maybe an extra 10-15 horsepower, but 92 is what we got here. But yeah, excited for the Supra. I'm just amazed at how easy it is to make power with these B58 engines. The only real power adder that we have in here is the turbo and the downpipe, maybe the exhaust. Obviously I talked about earlier, charge pipe intake don't really add power. But yeah, if we can make over 500 wheel with just those mods, you know, I'll be impressed. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And then you guys should see me attending some track days later on in the year once everything opens up. I don't know when you're watching this because we are in the middle of winter right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna get everything wrapped up in a couple days. Next clip, you should see me at the dyno shop. All right, we got the car set up on the dyno. We did one run, and I already knew it was slower than stock. So check us out on this base map. We did 256 horsepower, which is less than stock. So I was right. I knew it felt really slow, but hopefully that will change today. All right, so we did one pass, and the first pass we already cracked 500 wheel on this dyno jet. Pretty awesome number so far. This is on pump gas. We haven't put ethanol in there yet. I am not sure if we're gonna have time to do that, but pretty cool. We're doing kind of like a hybrid remote tuning setup. We're doing a run. I'm sending him a log, and he's emailing me back a revision. So we are on the way home from the dyno shop. I haven't really felt the power yet, only because the roads are wet. It's just going to spin the tires, so there really isn't any point to try to hammer the throttle right now. But I'm happy with the numbers. We could have done more, but you know, the tuner only had so much time to tune the car on the dyno today. This was a remote kind of hybrid kind of tune. But numbers, we could have made a lot more. We probably could have made, you know, over 550, maybe 600. You know, if we had a proper fueling system, but then we're at the limits of the OEM transmission, and when we go to the track, we'll be at the limits of the axle, so that's something that needs to be upgraded. But overall, I'm happy. The car feels a lot more responsive than it was before. On the previous tune, we made 450 on a hub dyno, so, and this time we did the dyno on a dyno jet, so over 100 wheel horsepower gain. Not sure how the differences are between a hub dyno and a dyno jet. I know hub dynos read a little bit higher, so we probably gain a little bit more than 100 wheel horsepower, to be honest with you. But so far, so good. Now, when the weather gets drier and the roads are dry, we'll probably go on a little POV drive and get my first reaction on how this feels on the road. But I know this is a really short video. I was operating the computer and doing the logs at the same time, so I didn't really have a chance to film. But anyways, that is it. You know, more power for the Supra. I'm actually super duper excited. Anyways, that is it, guys. Really do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, guys.